Yo, Hegassen here, and here we go. It's my review of One Piece Manga Chapter 982, Scoundrel Meets Scoundrel. Now, this video might look a little bit different in a minute because I had to re-record this introduction, and it is a lot later than when I originally recorded it. Hence, the background's different, hence the lighting's different. But this chapter, Scoundrel Meets Scoundrel, it is a little bit confusing when I got to the end of this because I got to the end and I was like, wait, who are the scoundrel? Because there was a lot of encounters in this chapter. Last week, it was like planting seeds as the kind of plot threads throughout Wano. Whereas this week, it's planting some seeds as to some potential battles, some potential character interactions that we're going to see a lot more of in the next few chapters. So there was a lot of encounters. And I was left a little bit confused. So now let's switch back to the original recording. Also, I must apologise, I got a brand new chair. It's a little bit smaller than the other one, so I haven't quite worked out where I should be. So if you notice me kind of sitting down and shrinking, it's because I haven't quite worked out where I need to now position myself on the chair and how, if I need some cushions or I basically need to stand up. So lots of encounters to get through in this chapter. Let's start at the end and work our way backwards towards that encounter between the two scoundrels. It ends with Luffy meeting Ulti. Page 1 is also there, but he's like face down in the ground. This is interesting. It looks like it's setting up Luffy versus Ulti. Hype for that because hopefully next chapter, maybe chapter after, we get to see Ulti's Devil Fruit. See what presumably kind of ancient zone she is. It suddenly got very dark in this room. What is happening? Maybe Kaido. It's Kaido! He's heard me talking about Ulti and about these fights. So it looks like it's setting up a fight between them. Is there going to be a fight? We already saw Luffy and Zoro and all that flee from Scratchman and Pooh because they didn't want to take too much damage before their fight with Kaido. So I don't think this is going to be a full-on fight. I can imagine maybe one or two scraps and then somebody else is going to jump in and be like, hey Luffy, I'll take care of this. You go and make your way towards Kaido. Who that person will be, not sure. Maybe Sanji or someone's going to turn up and then can carry on his fight with Page 1. Maybe Zoro then gets to fight Ulti. Or maybe some of the other people from the Alliance finally get in there. It'd be great if it was like Robin and we get Robin versus Ulti. But don't know how far back they are. We know that Robin and Jinbe were taking a nice leisurely walk to the raid on Onigashima. But I don't think we're going to get a full Luffy versus Ulti fight. But still, I'm hyped for that potential Devil Fruit reveal in the upcoming chapters. Continuing from the last chapter, we have Big Mom and Chopper. The old best friends, not best friends anymore. She is going for Chopper. We see the Brachio tank reversing down that little walkway that they're on. Big Mom in pursuit. Usopp is also there. So that's good as well because Chopper and Usopp are quite desperate for a fight. So seeing them have a little engagement with Big Mom will be nice. Obviously, Big Mom is completely going to overpower them. But interesting to see where that one goes. Maybe they're going to reverse into like Frankie. Maybe Jinbe as well, like I said, because they're still on their way. That would be great, actually. Jinbe and Big Mom, again, having a clash. Maybe get some answers as to how Jinbe actually got out of there. Maybe a little flashback as to what actually happened. Then we also have Nami encountering Prometheus, and this is the thing that I was really hyped about when I did my live reaction, because we might actually be getting Zeus versus Prometheus. That's exciting. Maybe even Nami grabbing Prometheus for herself. I think that would be really interesting as well. And I'm very excited for this. This is an interaction we knew that was going to be coming. I'm actually surprised to see Prometheus because we haven't seen Prometheus all of Wano. At first, I was like, oh, maybe Prometheus isn't here. Maybe Big Mom left Prometheus back at Whole Cake Island as kind of like her ambassador, like to speak on her behalf kind of a thing. I guess it's kind of confirming that Katakuri is the one who's currently in control of Whole Cake Island. Maybe Cracker or Katakuri and Cracker, probably most likely Katakuri. But I thought that maybe Prometheus was being held back there as well. But no, we see him here and he doesn't look very happy. He's calling out to Big Mom, but Big Mama, she's having her own little chase with Chopper. Before that, we had Denjiro, Kyoshiro, still like Denjiro being Kyoshiro, meeting Sasaki, and them two having an encounter. And I really like that because he's still using his fact that he is Kyoshiro, that nobody else knows that he's switched sides. At first I was like, why isn't nobody mentioning the fact that he's got rid of his pompadour? But then Sasaki does mention that. And then, really, really sneakily, they put handcuffs on Sasaki and tie him up. We don't know if they're Sea Prism handcuffs. I'm guessing maybe they are. I mean, Denjiro would probably know if Sasaki has a devil fruit. If not, what I could see here is as they're walking off, because it looks like Denjiro has kind of tied him up and he's like, well, that's one done, let's keep going. I imagine as they're walking off, maybe in the next few chapters, we see them break and then it turn around and there's Sasaki in whatever devil fruit form. Again, assuming he's a zone, whatever one he is, standing there, and then we get that fight. I think that will be really cool. I don't think Sasaki is completely out of the count right now, or maybe somebody else turns up and frees him. I'm gonna go with maybe they're just ordinary handcuffs and he breaks out. So that's it for the fight setups, but that's not all of the interactions that we have. We have Marco, he's now on the ship that Nekomamushi was on, and we get confirmation that yes, they did arrive at the same time, just out of coincidence. Nekomamushi didn't know that Marco was going to turn up. Also, I've noticed that there's a great big pineapple on Nekomamushi's ship. I'm not sure if that's like a Marco reference or what, but I thought that was pretty funny that there's a giant pineapple in the background. We see the corner of somebody saying, I'm surprised you turned up, Marco. I'm assuming that's Izzo, because we don't see him in this chapter. But I'm not really sure. I'm assuming it is Izzo. And then we find out about the note that Marco gave to Nekomamushi, and I am pretty disappointed with this, because the note just said, don't worry, Luffy, I'll be there, I might be a little bit late, which is, I don't know, I built up a lot of hype around what that note is. What did Marco tell Nekomamushi? There was all these months of speculation. Is it something to do with Whitebeard? Is it something to do with Wano? Is it something to do with Oden? Was it about Izzo? Was it about other members of the Whitebeard pirates, other allies and stuff to seek out? And it was just, I'm going to be there anyway. It seemed like in their first interaction at the beginning of Wano that Marco, like, wasn't actually going to turn up. Like, wasn't... That's how he was wording it. He's like, no, I can't turn up. You know, I have to protect this village from Weevil. So here, give this information to Luffy, and he can use that instead of me being there. But instead, it was just, I'm gonna turn up anyway, so don't worry about it. I don't know. It just feels like Weevil was just kind of there to keep Marco in place, so that he doesn't turn up too early, and then Weevil gets captured, I'm assuming, or you know, being chased by the Marines. Maybe he's in Impel Down or somewhere, and that just frees up Marco. So again, that's like, what's the point in Weevil? What was the point of the note? I'm guessing it's just so that Marco actually turns up a bit late. Disappointing, but he's here, so I'm happy. And Nekomamushi's finally arrived as well. And then at the beginning of this chapter, we have the Scoundrel meets Scoundrel. We have Kanjuro. He finally turns up. And he has Momo in his hand. He's beaten up Momo. Momo tried to use that knife to escape off panel, and Kanjuro had to beat him up. Shows that Kanjuro absolutely does not care about Momonosuke. And Orochi as well. The way Orochi is talking about Momo, we see that he doesn't care, but he now gets this information about the fact that the samurai have lived. Interestingly, Kanjuro hasn't mentioned Kyoshiro betraying him yet, but I'm sure that he'll get to that. But yeah, we see Orochi is actually a little bit worried about that. But you see them talking about Momo, and they just don't care. And then you see Kaido, and he's silent. Like before that, Black Maria's there. They're having like a party. Black Maria's also a little bit strange in this one. She's like, I'm not going to bother going to find Yamato. I just want to be with you, Kaido. And that's a little bit strange. Is this her way of trying to gain Kaido's support by like basically being a little bit smitten with him? We know she's in charge of the pleasure house, so maybe that's her way of doing things. It certainly seems to be working, because Kaido looks like he's having a good time until this Momonosuke stuff where he goes a little bit uncharacteristically quiet. We see him glancing over. We see him remembering his time with Momo, where he held Momo by his hands and didn't drop him, instead threw him into the fire. And it's got me thinking this a little bit. Does Kaido have not necessarily sympathy, but maybe sympathy? Maybe he sees like a little bit of like Yamato in Momonosuke, because he stated that he's disappointed in his son, and he says to Momo, compared to Oden, you're a disappointment, because we know at the end that Kaido and Oden, they had that little respect moment just before Kaido killed Odin, and then when he killed him, he was kind of like, I have to kill you. But they did gain that kind of respect, and I'm wondering if he sees Momo, and in that moment where he was about to drop him, he was like, this guy could be like Odin. So I'm not just going to squish him in my hands. I'm not just going to drop him. I'll throw him in the fire. Sure, he still throws him in a burning building, but out of all of the situation, he puts him in the situation where he could escape. And maybe there's something in there. Maybe Kaido, because we know he wants to kill himself. We know, maybe he's like looking for that fight. Odin was like the closest person to defeating him, and probably would have defeated him if Kaido didn't use those dirty tactics. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on here. He's either seeing Yamato in him, or he's remembering Odin, and is in a way kind of wanting Momonosuke to be better than he is. So I can see this as a cool little arc going throughout. Definitely now there's going to be a lot more focus on Momonosuke and him kind of stepping up a lot more, and maybe even Kaido trying to encourage that a little bit. Like, he's obviously still an enemy, but yeah, I don't know. There's definitely something here, and this is, out of everything in this chapter, apart from like the Prometheus versus Zeus stuff, this is the stuff that I'm most intrigued by, because there is a very clear difference between how Kanjuro and Orochi are talking about Momonosuke and how Kaido is acting in these panels. So there's definitely something there, and definitely something to keep an eye on, and I think it has something to do with that flashback. There's definitely something going on in Kaido's head where he had Momonosuke in his hands and he didn't kill him. I think that's going to be quite an important scene going forward. So yeah, that was really good. But there was also some stuff with law and stuff in this chapter as well. So everybody's kind of getting into place now. Good stuff. I don't think it was as good as last week. It was a little bit of like, here's some people, here's some people, here's some people, and like every like 2 pages was like different people. So yeah, I don't think it was as exciting. It built up some hype, but I didn't. It's not going to be the one that I'm going to look back on and remember for forever. So for me, it's probably only a blue tier. Was quite disappointed with that note just being kind of nothing in the end. But some good stuff with Kaido and Momonosuke. Really hyped for potential Prometheus versus Zeus, and yeah, hyped for potentially Ulti's Devil Fruit. Next chapter after.